All right, here we go. We're live. We're shooting this shit right before. I couldn't switch the intro for a second. How's everyone doing today?
Well,
Good,
good.
man. Good.
Good, good,
Good.
Good.
good. So we're doing the part three of this rivals perspective. We had Sporting, then Braga, and then we saved the toughest rival for last, Porto. Let's call it spade a spade.
Campeão, campeão.
The current campeon, unfortunately, and Bruno have a different perspective of it being unfortunate or not unfortunate. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How you guys doing? Thank
Good.
you for having me.
Yeah, of course. For those who don't know, Bruno's he can be found on a few different platforms, from Three Tugas to Football No Filter. Sorry. Um, yeah, he's done other projects in the past. He's always talking Liga NOS, Porto. He's quite active out there, which is awesome. He's got a good background of the club himself, and we chat quite often with him. So it was a good idea to bring him on. He'd be a good representation of
Yeah.
Porto, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I believe you
He's
agree.
actually been on the show before.
Yeah, it was a for those.
But
It's a return. Yeah.
Yeah,
just remember, I'm not on Twitter though.
he's a Twitterless
No.
Bruno. Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Twitterless Bruno for sure.
And we got the chat, just so in case you're not seeing the YouTube, we got Cynthia says hello, by the way.
Oh, Cynthia.
Cynthia, Cynthia's doing good. She's good. She's out on the chat there. We got Vincent, which is awesome.
Martin,
Um,
that's Martin.
Martin,
The great Fall Guys player.
right there. He's that guy. He's that guy. When you like have a bad start to Fall Guys, you pull the Martin. We got we got more people on here. That's awesome. All right, guys. So I guess to kick it off, what I was thinking was for today's version, kind of let Bruno give a little bit of his background. You cool talking a bit about yourself, just kind of what your experiences are with Porto itself, as a fan of the club, different things you worked on, real quickly.
I mean, yeah, I've been in the past. I've been. A lot of people know me that I do scout for FC Porto here in the U.S. Um, I've been working with them since about 2008. Um, it's kind of stealth work that I do. I just I send a lot of players over, mainly for their academies, but I do also work with their A squad. Um, so that's basically what I've been doing for these last 12 years, on and off.
Awesome,
On
man.
and off. Some days it's some off seasons. There's a lot of action, and some not so much.
You done a lot of college work also, right? On yourself, right?
Yeah, I coach at Berkeley College over here in New Jersey in the United States. I'm the head coach. I've been there for 12 years. So I've been doing a lot of that. I just know the game of the college game, or the college spectrum, and then the professional spectrum. I'm very good in terms of Liga NOS. I know a lot of players inside Liga NOS. I actually had someone call me today for a Spanish club. They were looking for names of players from the Portuguese league, and they actually contacted me, um, trying to get some players that would fit the certain criteria that they were looking for.
I would say Andre Almeida would fit any criteria they're looking for.
They're looking for a striker.
Hey, you can do
Believe it or
that.
not,
Seferovic, go for it. Take him.
yeah. The problem is with the club that was asking and the price that they're willing to pay. I said maybe you may look at the new kid Ramos as a loan. Other than that, you're not going to get anybody.
It's not Real Oviedo, was it?
Hey Bruno, let me ask you this really quick, Bruno. Scouting from here in the States, for Portuguese teams, what's the biggest transition that you see, like American kids, American players, to go over there to Portugal? Like, what's the biggest transition, like the biggest learning curve for these players?
Uh, Actually, all right. So two things. The tactics. Melo, definitely tactics. They struggle with tactics because, remember, the way soccer is played here in the U.S., it's a lot of we're based a lot of on athleticism,
Mhm.
speed of play. And speed of play is not the biggest. It's more like we play very direct. When the ball has to do a lot of the work, not the player, they struggle. They struggle with movements. They struggle when to make the movements, where to go in the movements, and then when it's off the ball transition, I think they struggle. I think another struggle is they dominate here, they go into another league and then they get very anxious. They want to go right to the first division. Like, you're not good enough to play in the third division. Where are you thinking you're going in the first division? So, pump the brakes. And the way the American player is right now, they don't want to wait. They're used to everything on demand. Everything's in demand. I want it now, and that's the generation that we're in. And when they don't take rejection very well at all, and when they get rejected and say, "Look, you're not good enough to play in the third division. You'll have to drop to the fourth division." You know what? I'm just gonna go back to the United States, and that's it. I'm done here, and that's basically how their careers end.
Yeah,
Literally end.
yeah, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, I know we're going to be talking about Porto, but your town rivals, Boavista, signed Reggae. Two guys out, right?
Yes.
And Boavista's had their biggest demand of jersey sales ever online from North America because of signing Reggae. A bunch of people are actually in the states that follow that player are kind of following Boavista now, and I know it's only been a very short period of time. But I really do think there's a massive opportunity to tap into that market because, you're not going to go to the EPL. No offense to some of the young guys in the MLS. You got to get more experience. It's very tough for a young American player coming up to jump to an EPL. But the Liga NOS, especially with a team like Boavista, you could make that leap and possibly, find yourself a good position and get that experience and go from there. So it's do you think you're going to see more of that tie-in maybe if let's say Reggae has some success? Do you think all of a sudden people start looking kind of like the Brazilians and other individuals look at Portugal as like that stepping stone, right?
Well, I'll give you a better example. I know Lewis is on here, and you're seeing a lot of English players going into Vitória de Guimarães right now, right?
Yeah.
This past season, I think they signed about 6 or 7 players, if I'm not mistaken, from England. You could see that very well with Boavista. Same kind of scenario. They'll get 6 or 7 Americans or whatever to come into, maybe not 6 or 7, but maybe 3 or 4. But that's if that Marcus Edwards, who does blow up for Boavista. If they don't, then you might see a hesitation the next year.
Yeah.
Right now, it's 2, maybe next year it might be 4, and then it's going to be bigger names all the time. Remember, Boavista is owned by the AC Milan ownership group.
Good. Yeah.
Is it a full ownership or
So they have
partial? I
money
can't remember that setup.
It's partial with Lille,
Yeah.
because Lille is basically AC Milan's B team, and Boavista is now their C team.
Wow.
I hear Man City wants in on Portuguese league too. That ownership, that Man City ownership wants in on it. Yeah, Porto. I seen that today, as a matter of fact. And also too, looking at just a couple. I mean, it feels like we have a little closer relationship to the MLS as of late. We got an influx like starting. I mean, I'm just going back a couple years ago, Andre Horta, and now all these Benfica players that we've seemed to, pawn off on Nashville's and Whitecaps of the world. Is that a new market that the Portuguese league is trying to tap into? Is there a market in the States?
Let me just tell you this, Mr. Mello. My group that I work with has a lot to do with that. And we'll leave it at that.
All right.
Don't worry.
All right.
I wish I had all the time. I wish I had something here.
Oh, you got
you know what I mean?
you got
Leave it there.
you got Ibra and you got Mark from Southampton. Those are the two contacts you got.
All right.
Hey, but you know what though? I
Don't
like
start stealing my
I
players.
like
Marcus
it.
Southampton is mine, bro.
I like the idea though, because even here, like I watch sports. Shit, I was watching Serena the other day. I was watching tennis. I love sports. So for me to watch the MLS and say, hey, that was a guy that played for Benfica. Hey, that's a guy that played for even Porto or Boavista. You know what I mean? That does give you kind of more viewership to the Portuguese Americans here in the States, and I think I'm all for it, man, because. Shit, the Earthquakes just lost 5-1 the other day, and I'm thinking, it was like 7-1. I'm thinking, man, we need some Portuguese blood over here on this side.
Well, there's a problem. Now you're talking about see, the problem with the MLS, they have, and this is a big problem, and I hope that someone in the MLS hears this. And hopefully they take it up the chain because I'm going to tell you exactly what the issue is with the MLS. The MLS has a matrix. Okay, so the players have to check off X amount of boxes. The more boxes they check, the more of a probability they're going to come into the MLS. Um, Sometimes you can't always go by that matrix. There's certain players that don't hit a lot of boxes, but they will find the right player to fit into the system, and that would be a great purchase for that team in the MLS. I'll use an example for you guys, not to kind of throw it out there, but I'll throw it out there. Kaleka. Kaleka would be a very good center back in the MLS. He's not checking off enough boxes in that matrix. This matrix that they have. To me, that's a blown opportunity for an MLS team to have a team or have a player like Kaleka.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
What do you find but do you notice like a trend of is there a couple tick boxes that tend to like trip up guys the most, or is it always random each time on that matrix, or?
It really depends on the person. I mean, I was working with this one player from Porto that we were trying to bring into the MLS, and he didn't check off enough boxes. And it's like they really messed up on that one because this kid is a U21 international. He was rated number one player in Portugal at his age for a number of years. Um, and he just MLS didn't take him because he just didn't check enough boxes.
Are
They
these
should have
boxes?
went back. Good.
I was gonna say, are these boxes like eight? You think it has to do with the agents? I mean, to me, it's money. You know what I mean? Boxes like that's just money to me.
No, the money wasn't. No, it has nothing to do with money. It was just like
Mhm.
whatever. How many years of contract does he have? Check. What's his age? Check. What has he played on the national team? Check. Is it, stuff like that, and it's like this is the agent. The agent I think had a big role in this particular player's chance to come to the MLS. I think it did. And that's another thing. That's the problem with there's only about 4 or 5 agencies that the MLS works with,
Mhm.
and then everybody outside it doesn't get much of a chance. And I think that's another problem with the MLS. Porto did that a couple of years ago. They used to only work with about 6 or 7, and then they reduced it to about 3 or 4 agents, and you're minimizing your pool of talent. Some agents have better players than some of the other agents. You should look into those guys, but they don't, and they suffer from it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again, MLS is losing out on that.
yeah, and kind of I guess it's a segue. Like speaking of player movements, Porto in the tail end of this off season has really started making some moves, and it was really that Fabio exit that really triggered the biggest amount, and now all of a sudden you see the freed up cash flow to spend, and Porto's being quick at it. What, in your opinion, when you look at Porto's squad, yes, they won the league last year, but let's call a spade a spade. It was a pretty ugly campeonato across the board for both Benfica and Porto. Porto won, but in the same case, like clearly you'd probably agree that's not the best Porto side you've seen in the last decade. What would you say in terms of what Porto currently has as talent that you like? Some of the new talent that's come in that you kind of think will help out in terms of their club, and then what do you think is probably both the strengths but also the weakness right now? Is there a gap that's still kind of remaining?
Well, let's start with your first
Yeah.
question. In terms of signing, um, the biggest signing right now is Ivan Nielsen. Never did I think that he was going to be coming to Portugal. Never knew that he was even on the radar. But that just goes to show that how well we work in silence. You watch all these soccer shows and they throw all these names at the wall and see what sticks. No one threw that one. I think he's our best signing. Um, our second best signing, and if you look at it, it's all strikers. So clearly, last year, Sergio Conceição must have said, "We can't win another league with these strikers. We can't go forward with Suarez, Marega, Abubakar, um, Zé Luiz, and so on and so forth because they missed too many goals. Game against Sportivo de Chaves, for example. How many chances do we have to create to score one damn goal and we couldn't score? And there was a period of time in which defenders were scoring our goals.
Yeah.
Defenders. So I think strikers was definitely the big reason why we needed to upgrade that area. I believe Marega is going to stay unless there's a big offer of 25 million or more for him, but he's mostly going to stay. I think everybody else is going to go. Suarez, Abubakar, Zeluige, and obviously Fabi Silva already left. Abubakar most likely is going to be rescind contract and he's going to be moving on as a free. Keep in mind that Abubakar is our most expensive player. He makes 2 million clean a year. That is the highest salary that Porto has. Second highest is Zeluige. Obviously, with the price that we paid and versus productivity, he was the one that needs to go, and I think he kind of pissed people off at the club. And then there's Suarez, who's the poor man's Jardel. He scores against the small clubs. He doesn't score too big against the big clubs. Against Sporting, he scores every once in a while. But other than that, he doesn't score against anybody else. Suarez needs to go. I think he's a player that misses too many opportunities. The strikers that we've brought in, Jeremy, I didn't think that was going to be possible prior to COVID-19. After COVID-19, I think it became possible. We got Ivan Nielsen, obviously, and we brought in, or we're going to be bringing in Martinez, and I think the only guy who's going to stay is Marega. So that's going to be your 4 strikers. In terms of weakness, our weakness is definitely, I think, is going to be if Alex Telles leaves. It's going to be a left back, because I don't believe in at all. We had other options at left back, and we didn't take advantage of that. And then it's probably might be even fullback, because it seems like Cedric Conceição doesn't believe in Tomás Esteves. And if you listen to the podcasts that I've had in the past, I believe Tomás Esteves was deserving to start at 16 years old. Forget about 17 or 18. He should have been starting at 16.
I want to ask you a question, man. I know, like, obviously we've gone past that a little bit, but I don't know you that well, and I just want to know how you how did you become a Porto fan? Like, was it family? Was it friends? And, obviously being from America, sometimes it's easy to drift off from Portugal football and start supporting some other soccer team. How did you keep up with it? Like more of a fan way, less than professional way.
So I've been I used to go to every other summer I would go to Portugal for a vacation, and I had 3 cousins that were Portistas, and the year was 1986. I went there for the summer. Now, coming from a father that's a Sporting fan and a mother that's a Benfica fan, I turned out to be a Porto fan, and it had to be those 3 cousins and their influence and campeões de Europa. Well, who didn't want to be campeões de Europa? So I went right to Porto, and that was it. And and then they had Gomes. Gomes was my idol. In fact, now I work for him. So I have direct contact with Gomes on basically a daily basis.
Yeah, all right, fair play. I just said this because since the age of about 4 or 5, I people used to ask me what team do you support, and I say Porto. And then one day I don't know exactly why my grandfather was like burning things like Alentejo sort of way. You burn your rubbish, you don't throw it away, you burn it. And by the way, I didn't just call it rubbish. I had these like Porto scarves and Porto stuff. I was like, burn all this shit. I'm a Benfica supporter now. And until today, I still don't know why. I realistically, I don't know why. I know most of my family were Benfica supporters. The other ones were Sporting supporters. And there was no one Porto. And I just want to be that. I wanted to be that ugly duckling. I'm going to be a Porto supporter. And then I don't know. I don't know what happened. I just like, you know what? No, I can't do it. So I always say Benfica picked me. I don't know.
There's still time. There's still time.
Yeah, no. After all that, now Benfica's finally making momentum.
Hey Bruno, you said something about the team that kind of surprised me. I didn't know that Alex Telles was maybe he's the 3rd highest paid. That's kind of crazy to me.
He's
not even the 3rd.
I don't think he's the 3rd.
That's nuts to me. And then you said that if he leaves, I mean, if he doesn't leave now, do you think the next transfer winter he's gone? Is that what? Because I know Porto they're known to do that. You know what I mean? They at least they try. They try to hold on to that second transfer window and try to let him go. But I mean, he's I think he's ready. my point. He's ready. I think he's ready. If he makes that jump to United, that'd be a perfect place for him to go. And I like the guy. I think he's a great player. You know, I hate him. I don't like him. I hate him. But I know he's a damn good player. You know what I mean? I know he is.
You hate him. You hate him because you respect
Right, exactly. That's what it is. And I think he's ready. So I mean, like, and Porto. We always say Porto need the money. They're struggling. I hear this a lot. I don't really. The reason I don't see it that way is because they sneak in and they win a couple championships in the last couple years with teams that maybe, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, arguably weren't even as good as Benfica maybe on a year to year, but they find a way to win all the time. I think Conceição doesn't get enough credit from the outsiders as he should. He's a good coach, somebody that you do want to play for. And you can tell that, when Benfica play Porto all the time. You know what I mean? You guys come in, and Cristiano says it from Benfica podcast. You guys come in and you come into our house and you sit on our sofa and you know what I mean? You smoke our cigarettes and you eat our, use our plate. I mean, that's just, it's what it is. It's drink our beer. You know what I mean? Don't throw your bottles away, shit like that. I mean, it's that way. As far as Stells goes, is he ready? Are they going to make that money? I think 40 million is not even, I don't even think that's enough. I hear 40 million and I'm like, that's crazy.
I'm going to answer your question. Do I believe Dels is going to be at Porto next year? I don't think so. He's been scoring a lot of goals in the preseason. I think he scored. No, not today. Today he didn't score, but he scored yesterday. But keep in mind, we have 6 starters that could walk for free in January. 6. Dels is one of them. So either we cash in whatever we can get now. And I think the rumor today was 20 million to Manchester United. That's the highest they're willing to pay for a player that they can get for free in January. But I think they would like him now before someone else jumps on him. So they say either take 20 million or we're going to get him for free. So which one would you rather take? So Porto's between a rock and a hard spot. Same. They didn't learn their lesson with Brahimi. They didn't learn a lesson with Herrera. Yeah. So now we have 6 players. I'll repeat again: 6 players are going to be ending their contract in January. And if you follow me on social media, I've been saying the phrase "Vem os anéis agora," meaning the kids. That's the most valuable players that we have. In janeiro não vamos ter dedos, meaning there's going to be no more. There's going to be no more players because in January they're going to walk, and you're left with nothing. And then when you got to make money the that following year, there's nothing.
That's the part that's perplexed me the most over the last few years, and you got to give your rivals your dues. I think Porto for many years was just extremely well run in the transfer market, horrifically efficient at finding gems, using them, winning titles off them, and flipping them for big dollars, and replacing that depth, and always having this constant flow, right? And that was what Benfica had to catch up to. It took Benfica a while to finally catch up to that, to become competitive again with Porto, and it was a dogfight for quite some time. And I don't understand, and I don't know if anyone understands the why this has happened recently, because it's not just it happens. You get a player goes for free, like maybe they didn't renew the contract, maybe it's just whatever, you let a guy walk whether he's older or something, you get a younger guy that goes for free. But just the amount of players going for free lately at Porto is so out of the norm for how the club normally runs. Is there like a catalyst for this? Is it just like management sleeping at the wheel basically? Is that all it is?
Greed. 5-letter word, greed.
But I would even think on the greed side, like I don't know why I feel with the greed side, you can play, you can flip the guys, you can still. It's just I don't know. It's like if guys aren't willing to renew, you then sell them. It feels like Porto, if they got the gut feeling that okay, these guys aren't going to renew, we got to get rid of them. But instead they held on to them, and yes, it helped them win a title. That's a good thing. But now it's kind of once you're down to that final year, you're kind of snookered because if you try to tell the player what to do, the player could tell you fly a kite. He waits it out for a year, and he's a free agent and gets the big dollars, right?
Well, they made an offer to him, and he didn't accept. Obviously, he wanted 4 million clean. 4 million clean in Portugal is, I think the only one that we paid 4 million clean was Casillas. That was Casillas. Dels is not Casillas. Let's be honest. So he's got to have to. We have to sell for what we can get, but it's gonna be him. Why hasn't Danilo moved? Danilo, I think the highest offer that we've received is 15 million for a 29-year-old center defensive mid that's on the national team that's been starting. Um,
Vieira would be
there's a
that.
lot of who.
Vieira, 15 mil. Yeah, that's my price tag. Thank you. anything 15 just tickles my fancy. Thank you.
20 and below, that's Vieira's like ballpark.
Who's another one? Abubakar is gonna he could leave for free. Marega could be leaving for free. These are all guys that are running out of their contracts. There's been a couple purchases that we did last year. In particular, Uribe. He was a good player last year. He was a useful player. But I think if we get a good offer now, it would be the best time to move him because he's 30 years old. If we can move a guy that's 30 years old and recover the investment that we made, which was like 9 million or 8 million or something like that. I think that would be probably the best choice. I mean, is he a good player? Yeah. Is he a useful player? Yeah. But if we can return our investment, I think that's the most important thing right now. Let's sell him now.
As a male, I'd like Uribe to stay. I think he has great potential, especially at home. His missus is she's a great cook.
You like her.
I think Porto as a city will miss Uribe and his family. They bring a lot to the city. A lot to the city. No, I'm joking, man.
Luis, I'm gonna give you a personal invite. You should come down over here to the United States, and I'll show you a city called Elizabeth, New Jersey. There's a lot of women that look like
Let's
you.
go. I'm going to New Jersey. Mel, are you coming? Let's go, man. Come on.
Yeah,
Let's go. Come on.
I'll be there.
Jersey's
risk
the pearl of the U.S.
So let me ask you this also, Bruno, because I'm not sure how this financial fair play thing works really. I guess you got to or sell enough to balance what you've made. I don't really get it. To me, I don't really get it. If you guys, how do you guys avoid doing that right now? Like, I guess like I've heard that for the last year. If Porto doesn't do this, they're financial fair play. You know what I mean? Like, how do you guys get that monkey off your back, or are you guys gonna fall? Are you guys gonna fall into that sort of financial fair play rule?
We have to sell 100 million by October 5th. Sell. So remember, a lot of people get confused that Champions League money of that 39 million, 40 million, whatever it is, counts toward that. That does not count toward it. It's $39 million in sales. The rule is you cannot spend more than what you make. Porto was spending more than what they were making. So now they're caught up in this. And as long as they don't spend more than what they make, they're fine. That's why you're seeing them sign a lot of free transfers. Carrasa was free. And what's his name? Claudio Ramos was free.
Yeah.
Those are two. Well, one was a very good signing, which was Ramos. I never thought that he would come to or stay in Portugal to be a backup. I didn't see it, but all right, he did it. I think that Carrasa was that's a classic Portuguese league move. That's a guy that typically every time you play him twice a year, he just comes to destroy you. So you're just gonna sign him, so this way he doesn't destroy your team.
So basically, the financial fair play, real quick, Luis. I'm sorry. Is like your salary cap. Like in here in the States, you can't go past your salary cap. Right, you can't go over. Now, in the States, like the NBA, I'm a Laker fan, like you had said earlier. When they had Shaq and Kobe, they went over the salary cap. They were in the they were over the salary cap, and they had to pay the luxury tax. They paid the luxury taxes for years, for many years. Is that the same way in soccer and football, or is it like they take you out of competitions, or what's
they take you out of the transfer market.
penalty? Yeah, what's the penalty for not meeting that?
I don't think it's Champions League unless you're Man City. If you're Man City, then you're good.
Right. Yeah.
So you get taken out of the Champions League if you spend more money than you make.
Yes, there is
not pay like a tax on the money like you would.
No. Only, but it depends. Like the like Bruno was saying, City and PSG and those guys, you get the right lawyers, and you're back in, right?
It's
they have a
like,
penalty.
look,
Right, because how is PSG making that much money? On a game today, like okay, the Champions League money, okay, yes, they do make a lot of money in the Champions League. It's like 30, 40. It goes up as they get further, right?
Yeah.
And they were in the semis or the Champions game. They were in the fucking final this year.
Yeah.
But I don't see I don't see the dollar or the whatever they call it, the euro in France. Like how are teams like that making as much money as they're spending? It's
You know,
Brother.
Mello, do you know this? Do you know the take away the EPL is the highest generating league
right.
in Europe, right?
Yeah, that's why I went
You know
to
what
like
the
France.
second?
You know what I mean?
You know which one's second?
I would say Spain.
That's a logical answer, right? Oh, it's got to be Spain or it's got to be Italy, right? Or even the Bundesliga. No, it's France.
It's France.
France. Why? Because they have the connection with Africa. All those African countries love French football. So
Yeah, okay.
they get a lot of money off that. Now, just keep in mind, for the FIFA Fair Play for PSG, they were willing to just pay the $60 million penalty. We'll say, oh, we went over FIFA Fair Play. The $60 million penalty, we'll just pay it. That's it.
That was my question right there. $60 million. That's the tax. Wow.
That's the tax.
That's crazy. That's astronomical. That's ridiculous.
C'est pas
But
problème.
PSG, yeah, they would do it. You know what I mean? Now I got a better idea of this financial fair play. You know what I mean? Even though I don't know how much Porto makes, I don't keep up with those financials. I watch games. You know what I mean? So I was wondering how the hell. Like I've heard this for 2 years now. Financial fair play, Porto. They better relax. But 40 million from Fabio, right? 40 million from Fabio. That's 40.
It's not 40 million.
It's 30.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
30 million.
Okay.
Not quite Jean Felix, but almost there.
Hey, but I gotta ask you, Bruno. I gotta say, this Fabio kid looks like a really good gem, like a good, talented kid. Last year was his first little bit of a taste. No, he looked like a great kid. Yeah, you did say he was a good kid. He looked great in the youth side. We'll see how this guy can show up. It looked like this year was going to be his opportunity through the João Felix moment. You know what I mean? Where he could, like last year was him feeling it. This year could have been the year where he plays a lot of games, really makes that mark. Do you think Porto's going to come to regret that sale?
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about it. Because remember, he was worth, well, all right, let's just say he was sold for 40 million, right? We'll forget about all the commissions. He was sold for 40 million. He barely played. Imagine if he actually played. If he played, he would have been worth 60, 70, 80. We don't know.
That's what's weird. Porto does their business backwards.
And then if he actually started scoring goals, if he scored 10 goals, he would have been worth 100, whatever. We don't know. Why was João Felix? Why did he go for the price that they say that he went for?
Because he scored some goals.
Mario. Mario.
Exactly,
you know why I say that, right? So why did? Because he scored goals. Exactly. Lewis said it. I think it was Lewis that said it. He scored some goals. If he didn't score goals, he wouldn't have been worth that amount of money.
Yeah.
All right,
but it seems like. Oh, go ahead, Luis. Go ahead.
All right, first of all, Mel, do you know there's something behind you on fire?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I just want to get out of the way. Just make sure that you know. Now, secondly,
those are essential oils right there.
Yeah, sure. All right. Yeah, sure.
With bergamot. That's bergamot.
Do you wipe your butt with those
nice?
I
wish you could smell it.
Oh, one day.
Yes, I do wipe my ass with wipes, baby wipes.
Oh,
yeah.
You actually?
Yes.
Did you walk around with it all wet? No? All right, cool.
No, man.
No, me and Luigi, a late night, was it this week, had a chat about wiping your ass with wipes.
This is between me and you.
You wipe your ass with wipes. You don't walk around the world with shit in your ass. That's disgusting.
No,
I use dry butthole.
Toilet paper.
Walking around with dry butthole. No,
I call them poo nuggets. I call them poo nuggets. What are you talking about?
Those are called dingleberries, bro. They're dingleberries. Yeah, walking around with dingleberries.
Anyway, listen, I've got two questions. First of all, Carrasco, what do you think of him? Because Martin was asking this question.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Lewis, that was a classic signing. Remember, every time he played in that Porto derby, it was him always hacking Corona. It was hacking Luis Diaz. It was hacking someone on that side. Porto signed them, so he stops hacking. because he was the reason why we would struggle so much against Wolves.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that would come and target a player, and he would take guys out. That was his job. And you can't condemn that because that's what he was told by his coach to do. Hey, you see that guy?
Yeah.
Hack him. Boom. Keep on hitting him. And that's what they kept on doing. So now they just signed him. Now they can just put him on the bench until they'll never play again. Do I think that he's a good signing?
I think
It's quite funny because I had him on fantasy league. Like I don't know why, I just liked his name. Carrasco. Yeah. All right. The next question.
he's a tough guy.
Yeah, he's the Carrasco. He's that guy that's like just sticks on. He's like, fucking, just get off me, man. Just get off me.
Yeah.
And also another quick question. You said you're a scout, and you mentioned his name, I believe. Gonzalo, our under 21, like basically the player of the youth. What do you think of him? Because I'll say where I am. That was you're gonna laugh at me. There have been talks about signing Cavani. Forget about that. I've always said I want this guy. I want this guy to be up there. I want him to be I wouldn't say a starter, but I want to see him there. I want to see him as okay. We're not scoring goals. Put him on. And I don't know. I'm not a scout. I'm a 30-year-old kid from Reading. Am I deluded, or can this guy possibly make it big in the Premier League? I'm not talking about Premier League or Spain. I'm talking about Liga, Nosh, Benfica, strike. Yeah.
If it was without Cableda as your coach, yes. Otherwise,
yeah.
And then,
damn it, man, let's get rid of him.
Unfortunately, you guys signed this guy, and listen, I can also point the finger at my coach. So whatever I'm saying about Cableda, I call him Cableda, I can say about my coach, because they're very similar, and people don't want to believe it, but it is true. Because people say, "Oh, Sergio Conceição, he invested in this youth player." No, he didn't. He threw him in, but investing is playing a guy 3, 4, 5 straight games in a row, not 2 or 3 or 1, and then you don't play him for another 3 months. So, Cableda he wants a finished product. So same with Sergio Conceição. He wants a finished product. He wants experienced players. I always said, and you have to have a third, and a third to build your roster. You have to have a third experience, a third youth, and a third guys that are ready to they're in their prime, like they're ready to blow up for the Portuguese league. Like this is their year that they're going to be carrying the team. Yeah. If you don't have a third and evenly, you're going to struggle. Right now, we're going 2 veteran, we're having some youth, and there's not enough prime guys.
That's a bit like we saw from Spain, right? Spain had an insanely good national team, and then they started getting older and older and older, and there was no one, coming in that were younger. And then at one point, they ran out of the good players, and they just had to like dive in with players they didn't even know if they were good enough. They're just like, "Fuck, we need to renew the team." And I think I think that happens in Portugal too often, where like JJ, I can see where Conceição has been the same. They want that finished product, like you said. I'm just repeating what you said, but I'm just saying, it seems like they want somebody that comes in and automatically, like straight in, starts producing goals and everything. Like I'd hate to see Gonzalo go to waste. I'd hate to see Gonzalo go on loan to some, Nottingham Forest, and then like in the winter he comes back, plays a couple games, and he goes on loan for like Derby County or whatever. And then in 3 years, the guy is literally just wasted, and he ends up playing for Rio Ave, and his career is gone. And it's not even his fault. He was there, and I don't blame these kids. If he's to be sold for 15 million to, Reading, I would love to have him at Reading. I don't blame him. Why wouldn't you? Because in 3 years you might end up playing for Rio Ave on loan for the rest of your life. Like what's his name? Nelson Oliveira. We pretty much wasted his fucking career because we just kept loaning him out and never gave him a chance to shine anywhere else. And there he goes. I really want to see this guy spark though.
Lewis, let me tell you something about that Nelson Oliveira, because
Nelson Oliveira. Cheers, man. Nelson Oliveira screwed everything up. Cheers, Nelson.
Rest in peace. He
was a good man. He was a good man.
Nelson Oliveira. He made a huge mistake. He should have requested a transfer to Braga. You know what I'm saying? A team like that. Or Guimarães. Or Belenenses or Marítimo or something like that, because that's where you need it. But again, they start thinking about this, and then they forget about they did the
whatever. They did the same with Cristante. Remember that?
Yeah. See, but
Just
Costanza
loaned
was
him,
like,
loaned him, and then they flipped him for 30 million. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? We sold
Bamelo,
him for 10. Like, what the hell
but
happened?
hold on, Bamelo, you got to understand. Every time that these guys go on a transfer on a loan, the agent is making money.
Yeah, for sure.
That's an agent move. That's an agent move. Don't. It's not. Sometimes it has nothing to do with the player. It's the agent.
wait, so
Hey, we need to move him here. Then we need to move him there because we all got to make money.
the agent makes money out of every loan.
Sure.
Yeah,
All right, so we know. Okay, so between us three, we know what's happening in Benfica. If Vieira's cashing in,
Oh no,
like
yeah.
all these
No,
loans, ins and out, everybody's like, Gushing.
no, that's a huge even like
But
the Kyle Lucas coming in and then now it's loaning him out. It's all
oh,
just there's
I
no
got
intent
Kyle
to.
Lucas in the back. I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
it's nobody back there. Ah, I get it. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying, Lewis? It's a little
I got you. I got
little
you.
thing
I got
like
you.
that. You know what I mean? It's
Ah,
one of those things.
that's mad.
It's like here I could give you an example. There was a player that was offered to a club. The coach, I'll repeat it again for you. The coach would have pocketed if he accepted the player 300,000 euros.
Man, the business in football is incredible. This is Liga NOS, right? This is. Can you say
I can
that?
tell you it was in Liga NOS.
Okay.
I
You
can
say
tell
that.
you it was in Liga NOS.
Okay.
That's crazy.
That's mad. That's
It's
Yeah,
fair though.
but
It's fair.
it is the power that these agents unfortunately wield that I think a lot of the clubs have allowed them to have. It's the fact the league has allowed it to go on unchecked, right? It's an unfortunate part of the game. Um, Looking kind of, you mentioned Bragg and things of the sort. I don't know about you, but I feel this season is going to be the most exciting season just because I really feel Sporting's going through a bit of restructure. Porto's going through a bit of restructure. As exciting as it was Benfica, we just blew out our team, new manager, a bunch of new players. You know, confident about this team, but at the same time, a bunch of new stuff doesn't always mean it works, right? I think Bragg is making interesting moves. I think Bovic is making interesting moves. I think Guimarães is making interesting moves. Do you think this is going to be an interesting, tighter season between the clubs, or do you think it's just going to be Porto Benfica again like it normally is? What's your gut on it?
It's going to be Porto and Benfica again. I don't think that Sporting is anything special. They have a lot of quality younger players that are going to that are in there right now, but that's preseason. What's going to happen when they start dropping some points at home, and whenever we get fans, they start whistling. How are they going to react to that? Braga's signing a lot of names, and I want to emphasize names. Castro,
Yeah.
Gaitan, and so on and so forth. Those are names. Those are guys that are 30 plus years old. Those guys are going to be role players, but are they going to be the difference makers? The answer is no. And remember, the transfer window is still not closed, so we don't know if Ricard Horta might be sold last minute to Nottingham Forest, for example. Or Guimarães is a team to watch. If these kids all
That's what I'm
blow
worried
up,
about. That's what I'm worried
yeah,
about.
Marcus Edwards. If
Yeah.
there's about 3 or 4 Marcus Edwards that blow up on that team, they're going to be a problem.
So
Mhm.
you don't think Gaetan can be a game changer for Braga? And I'm not saying this as a midfielder. I'm saying this as I saw the game he did at the Luge for Braga, and it was very, very, very weak. But he had some great touches. Good. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. I just think for Braga, he can bring in some goals. I can see him doing that,
No,
but he can't.
he's
Right?
done. He's done.
All
Listen,
right,
he
fair
played
play.
here in the MLS. He was here in Chicago. He didn't do much. He went to Lille. He complained that he didn't get enough playing time. Listen, if he was good, he would have played. Let's be honest.
I guess so.
Um,
Yeah.
That's a pretty
he's
good
one of those.
team, anyways.
Who? Lille?
Lil, yeah,
This past year's a
Yeah,
good
I
year.
mean,
Yeah.
they got
no,
yeah
but,
in that
taking nothing away from
position.
the player's talent. Taking nothing away from the player's talent. It's just that you're not going to start at a 31, 30 years old at that on a team like that when you have kids that are not kids, but guys that are going into their prime that are blowing up. Those are guys that are
Yeah.
going into their prime, blowing up. Like you're not going to bench one of those guys for a 30-year-old Gaitan. Gaitan is better off going to Argentina and playing for Boca and be the man there for the next 3-4 years because their soccer is much different than ours. And he would have been better served there. That's just my
Yeah.
opinion.
What about a guy like Quaresma in the same
I was gonna
turn.
ask that.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, good show.
I always thought that Quaresma was he's a much better player than Gaetan. I mean, in my mind, from what I've seen from him, his his record. What do you think he can bring to, like we were talking about Guimaraes? It's just a scary team. I think he'd mean a lot
Um,
more in my opinion. Real quick, he'd lean a lot. He's gonna mean a lot more to that Guimaraes team than a Nico Gaetan is to a Braga.
I do agree. Will he add more to it? The answer is yes. The problem is he's 36. He was not a starter at Kashi Pasha in Turkey. Keep in mind, he was not a starter at
No.
Kashi Pasha. This was the team that was almost relegated. So I think for Quaresma, it's one of these. He really wanted to come to Porto, but I think there was Sergio Conceição didn't want him or something like that. Something along those lines. That's what the rumor is. Who knows if that's true or not? Um, or he didn't fit in the locker room. I kind of know what that means. That means two hard personalities, two very tough personalities, two alpha males
Yeah,
in the same
that
locker
wouldn't
room.
work.
That makes sense,
That
though.
wouldn't
Yeah.
work. So that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. But I think Quaresma for Guimarães might be a guy that's very useful coming off the bench. Last 30 minutes, 20 minutes, he could change a game very quickly. But we'll see. I mean, the biggest problem with Guimarães last year is they never had a real true number 9 because they created a lot of chances to score. They just didn't have someone to put the ball in the net. If they had a guy to put the ball in the net, this team would not have finished outside of. I think they finished 7th or outside of Europe.
Top
They would have
five.
finished. They would have been top 5.
You don't think Quaresma
Easy.
starting that first game for Guimaraes? You don't think he's gonna be in the
No.
starting 11?
No. No.
Wow.
Look,
not yet.
I'm
I'm
not
even
like
more worried about Guimaraes than I thought. Then
I'm not like an expert on football, but I do think Quaresma can bring stuff in. He's going to sell a lot of T-shirts. So many T-shirts are going to be sold. I want to buy one. Do you know what I mean? I want to buy one. I'm Benfiquista. But I agree. I think the guy, he's going to play. We know something, though. Well, let's just get it out of the way. He's going to eat the grass when he plays against Benfica. Whether it's 30 minutes,
I hope he
whether it's 20 minutes, whether it's 15, this guy will come on like, 'cause he hates us. And I respect that. He's a great player. Like, I'm not gonna hate the guy because he hates us. There's a reason why he hates us.
yeah,
That's fine. I don't hate
I
him.
get
I
it.
love watching the guy for Portugal. When Quaresma gets the ball for Portugal, I get as excited, or maybe even more, than I get when Ronaldo gets the ball. I'm like, yeah, go on, cut one in. Because he even said himself, he could have done a lot better, but he's cigano, dude. He hasn't got that mentality, you know. He's so far
Right.
ahead of Nani. It's just incredible. But the guy's never had that mindset. You know, he's had. Let's talk about this guy. He's been in Barcelona. He's been Chelsea. He's been in great places. He's just never had that mentality of just showing up to the. He just wanted to drink, ladies, a little bit like Tarat. You know,
Tattoos.
tattoos and stuff.
I
Soft
think-
in the fair. You know?
I don't think it was more. I don't think it was more of the. It wasn't the party life. It was more the thug life.
Yeah,
He was into thug life.
yeah.
Thug life. Thug life. You get involved with. Yes, you get involved with a lot of bad people. And if you surround yourself with a lot of those people, you're not going to go down the right path. And when he finally opened his eyes, he was a little
Too
too
late.
late.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
29. I think it was 29 when he opened his eyes.
So speaking of a guy on the whole thug life idea that's being rumored a lot on the Benfica side, Ruben Smith, do you think he's past that life? Do you think he's ready to open a new chapter? Rumors of him
Real
coming
quick,
to Benfica.
what a transition in the thug life, Mario. I
Yeah.
just want to
Yes.
hold it, just real quick. What a segue! What a
Segue, man. It's all about the
segue.
segues. I ride them, right?
Oh,
Hey, let me tell you that was a good segue, but I think Smith has been very low key. He's been keeping his nose clean. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
No point intended on that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I would say
Because
I think that's
On the
the,
greatest.
that's
I don't mind it.
yeah. No, the thing is, I looked at Ruben Samidu, and it's kind of like more recent his events, but over the last few months, it seems like he's kind of calmed down. Now you don't know if it's just a temporary calm down or maybe it's a permanent. But there's a lot of people at Benfica that are like, livid at the idea of this guy coming to clubs. For me, I think it's a case where you can get a guy that's experienced at a good age, cheap. that likely at this point has his expectations checked. He's not walking in thinking he's going to be King Kong. We got two good quality center backs. We need depth. We have like extremely no depth right now. It'd be nice to have someone to interchange to maybe compete for a spot that actually has the talent to do so. And if he ends up being on the bench, I think it's a guy that could actually deal with that, right? Um, and
I don't think. I think Ferro. From the rumor, what I read is that if he does come, Ferro's out.
which would be unfortunate, but at the same time, I get it. Like he had one good year and then has fallen off hard. You know what I mean? I don't
You know,
know.
Ferro,
Mary,
go, go,
go
go,
ahead.
go.
No, because I was going to say something about Ferro. I mean, he had a very good year, and Mario's a witness, and so is Melo. I used to praise Ferro more than Ruben Smido, but ever since his name was linked to Real Madrid and that transfer never happened, he never was the same. And that
That was
that
his
right
first year, right?
there,
Yeah, his first year.
that right there for a youngster could be the make it or break it. So I didn't go to Real. Forget it. I'm done. Like, and his confidence was shot. And like last year, you could tell he just didn't seem like he was with it, like he was year one.
So, just so I sort of is Ferro taking Varane's position, Ramos' position? Where is he fitting in? Are they playing three centre
That-
backs? Where is this
I-
guy?
I-
He was 20
I
years old,
understand.
bro. Like he would have sat.
No,
Ah,
Lewis,
It's-
I understand what you're
But
saying.
so
but
what
remember,
if we got 40 for it?
listen,
15. Come on, 15, man. Come on.
40 that
Lewis,
first year.
the issue, Lewis, the way you're thinking is a fan, and tactically, is he going to be playing in this spot over this guy, or is he going to be behind this guy? He's not thinking that. He's thinking, how many more zeros am I going to see in my bank
Yeah,
account?
true, I
And
get
you're
you, I
saying
get you.
no. Oh boy, hold on a second. You just pulled the rug from under me, man. Like
Yeah.
now I can't. Oh come on, like what are you doing here? And then like the motivation's not there no more.
You know, I will not mention names, but I've been lucky enough to have people in this house that like football and do it as a profession, and they like what they do. And I've had people in this house where it annoys me because they are professional, but not professional enough to even respect the club they play for. And it's like, without saying too much, it's like I don't give a shit, dude. I don't like football. It's like I'm only doing this for the money. And then you got somebody sat to your right that is completely different. I love football. I love what I'm doing. Yes, I have stuff on the side. Doesn't matter. Every time I step on the pitch, I give my best. This guy couldn't even put himself through learning English to be a better player. He's like, fuck the English, man. I'm only gonna be here for 1 year. And it's like, well, that's not the attitude. If I was in your position, I'll be learning fucking Arab. I don't care. I'll be learning whatever I can to do that as a hobby and get paid as much as you're getting paid. So I understand where you're coming from. And the thing is, with Ferro, I always use this comparison. Ferro, to me, reminds me of Karius, the goalkeeper from Liverpool. Like, it wasn't very bad. Like, it was just a goalkeeper. And all of a sudden, he fucks up. And it's almost like, I don't know, some sort of poison just went into his body and he just becomes shit. I'm guessing his confidence. I'm guessing there's a lot of factors playing up. But man, like, Mel knows and Mario knows. I used to say Ferro was better than Ruben Dias at some stages. I was like, I prefer this Ferro guy over Ruben Dias. Now I'm like, what happened to this guy, man?
Yeah, it's not the same player.
Did he
It's
stop
like-
with Dinesh too or something? Like, what's happened? Like,
It's true. It's true.
it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. At least in my opinion, that's all.
No, I get it, and a lot of guys, a lot of players, they go through this confidence issue, and they never recover. They never recover. Or these youngsters, they never recover the confidence or the form that they were at one point. And I think at the end of the day, I mean, he's one of those guys that. What are they going to do? Let's just say they do sign Ruben Smido. Is Jardel staying, or is he going to move to Brazil? Because he's 33 and he's injury prone now.
Jardel's done, man. Jardel has to be done.
I forgot. I completely forgot about that guy until he said it. I was like, shit, he's on our team.
No, the reality, the way we
Yeah,
got Vrendogen, we got Diaz, and then we
Yeah.
need a proper
So Mario,
backup as Ruben Smidu, in my opinion. And if
Real
Farrell
quick-
sticks around, hopefully he develops. If he doesn't, but we right now we have no one beyond the two guys. I don't consider Farrell a good option to plug in.
No, the guy from the B team, the Brazilian. I forget
I
his
like
name.
Ferro. I like Ferro. Let's
Oh,
see.
Oh, I know what you mean. I forgot his
yeah.
name. I know.
Starts with
Morato.
M. Starts with
That's
M.
it.
Morato.
Morato. Yeah.
Morato.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be given
Morata.
the light of
Okay,
day.
so Morata might be a guy that, but he's very young. He's 19 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Morata's a guy that he could step in, and they can get rid of both of them, and that's their fourth center back, and that's that. But is Gableda gonna do? Is he gonna make that investment? I don't know.
Taça Liga and stuff
Foreign.
like
So
that, right?
so
Maybe.
talking about Benfica though, since we're on topic, Benfica had a busy year too. I want to get the rivals' perspective on Benfica's off season. What did you like? What did you didn't like? Just kind of
I,
a fair assessment. Just your honest opinion on it.
well, the guy that I was very surprised to come into Portugal was Everton Cebolinha. Um, I never thought that a Portuguese club would. First of all, I never thought that Grêmio would sell such cheap at 20 million. And that's the 20 million. You know what I'm saying there? You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
they got a cut. They got a special cut coming down the road, from my understanding, when he gets sold.
Okay. Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, so I think
but
that's
it's
plus some
Yeah,
agents.
I
There's a
think
lot
it
of money
is.
made on the agent
I
side.
think it is. I think it's a high number too. It's like a 20% pass or something like that.
so
Something like that, like 20%.
okay. But listen. I don't hate the player. I don't hate the game. That's just a part of it. You gotta work with it. So Everton, I think by far is going to be one of the best players in the league right now. Um, Wald Schmidt, I don't know if he's going to fit in Portugal. The style of play, I don't think he's going to fit. He was very expensive, and we all know how Cobleta works. He demands all these players, and then he's quick to say, you know what, didn't work out, out. Cut him, sell him, do whatever. You got to get rid of him.
Got to be found that out the hard way.
Yeah.
Uh, so you got that guy. You have what's his name? I don't know how you guys are going to get rid of Vinicius. Um, he was the top goal scorer, second top goal scorer in the league last year. That guy was a very good player,
I like
and
him. I hope he doesn't go, but I see all these rumors of us trying to sell him. I
well,
don't.
he's not going to stick around. He's not going to stick around with all the. He knows that Wald Schmidt and this guy have to play, or the other striker that you guys got have to play. He's not going to sit around.
Can't say
Although
no
he's
to
still
40, 50 million. No, that's what I'm hearing. You know what I mean? Like, how do you say no to that?
The next step. Let's see. He was at Rio Ave, then he went to Monaco, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And then he went to Benfica. So the next stop's got to be
No, he went
Atletico
to
Madrid.
Napoli. Yeah, I thought he was at Napoli.
Oh no.
Wasn't he? Wasn't he in
Yes,
Italy?
yes, you're right.
He was in Italy.
Yes.
He was at Napoli.
Tiny bit for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so his next stop's got to be Atletico Madrid because that's the carousel, the men's carousel. So that's the next.
There we go. Here we go.
Sorry, guys. Did somebody mention Sublinga?
He's got to do his
yes,
bit. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, man. Great. I
Eh,
love Sublinga, man. I absolutely love that guy. I was very surprised he came to Portugal as well. And I'm looking forward to see him play more often. And you know what? Red onion. Beautiful, man. Sublinga right here for you, man. Yeah.
Okay, who else you got a couple other guys. Who else did you guys sign? Off the top of my head, I don't even remember. I know
Really?
Cavani. He has a
Vertonghen,
Vertonghen.
center back out of Tottenham.
Injury prone. I think that once he gets injured and you're gonna start seeing a lot, it's gonna be one right after the other. I don't think that's gonna be a good signing. I mean, good signing theoretically is a
On
good
paper.
signing.
On paper, right?
On paper, that's if he stays healthy. If he doesn't stay healthy, that's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be an expensive guy that's gonna be going to the training room. Then you have Pedrinho.
Yeah.
I did, Cableta said that he thought of 5 wingers that were better than him when he was in Brazil. Is he going to catch on or not? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about him myself personally, but then he looks promising.
Well,
But at
that,
the same time, I don't know. Maybe Rafa. I look at him and I don't see like Sablinga just stepped on and no debate. That's his spot. He owns it. No one's gonna challenge it. I
He's a
think
good player.
he's a
What
great.
about Waldschmidt? Have you mentioned him? Did I miss that when I was grabbing the
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna fit in the system
I'm a fan.
well. And I think it's very similar with Weigl. He didn't fit into Lodge's system. Is he gonna fit with Cabaleta's system? Perhaps, but I don't think so.
Well, he's been getting a lot. He started every game in the
Yeah.
preseason at that
Yeah,
position.
no.
You know what I mean? To be
First round
honest, and
quarterback.
I'm gonna be honest, my thing on Weigel was at that end of the season last year. I'll be honest. Weigel was probably our best player for a stretch because Tadop got hurt there at the end of the year too. He missed a couple matches. But Weigel was like he came in, it was a little shaky at first, but he adapted really quick. And he was one of the bright spots. I won't say the best. I mean, I won't say that. I mean, you had Vinicius score the top goal scorer in Peasy, but I mean, Weigel was like the steady, like this a bright spot week in, week out. You know what I mean? And I think, yes, you're right. It was Lodge's system, and then it was, who's the guy we had come in?
But he's
Yeah.
decent.
And now, I mean, and it seems like JJ wants to get the most out of Weigel. Like I said, he started every match in this preseason game. I think I don't know if the Waldschmidt signing was a direct link to the Weigel. Maybe you have that German hookup in the middle. I mean, maybe. But Waldschmidt, out of all of them, and I knew Everton was going to be pretty good. I've seen glimpses of. We've seen the cup they had out there. But I was really excited about Washington. I thought he was one of the more underrated or under talked about players that could. I thought he could kind of shine as a center forward in this league, but with his style of play.
Waldschmidt, I mean, he's a good player, but I think he's a good player for the German league, not for the Portuguese league.
Right.
And people are like, "Oh, the German league is so much better than Portuguese league." On paper it is, but it's a different style of soccer.
Yeah,
you need to have more technical ability on the ball in Portugal versus in Germany. Why is Gonçalo Paciencia doing so well in Germany and André Silva? Because they're more technical.
Yeah, I get that.
That's all it is. They're just more technical.
Yeah.
But they're having success, so that's all that matters.
But could he be a boom or bust then kind of guy? Like, is it like writing on the wall, or you think he could? Maybe JJ's got something in mind for him. You know what I mean?
I don't think he's going to start, to be honest with you. I just don't think he has it. A guy that I think is a player that I just don't even understand why they're wasting his time in preseason is Seferovic. I don't think he fits in the system at all.
I think they're trying to sell him. I think even like that just get him some playing time to advertise him to try to flip him to look, make it seem like he's better than he is. I even saw Benfica pumping his. I'm not a fan of Seferovic. I don't like him at all personally. I just got a feeling it's one of those weird things.
What about Darwin? I mean, we spent a lot of money on this kid, man. That's the other player we didn't mention. What do you?
I was surprised.
I know it's funny to me. I'll be honest, man. I said my piece last week. I mean, right now, I don't know, man.
I worked it out. The team that contacted him about a striker was the same team that sold Darwin. Hey, I worked it out. The Onion did it. The Onion did it, man. They lost Darwin. Now they want to take Seferovic. Take him away from us.
Almeria,
yes, Almeria. They fucked it. They fucked it.
Almeria. I don't know. That one, I hate to inform you guys. I think you're going to be very disappointed with that player.
Well, I've already prepared myself for that.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not. I've already prepared myself for that as well. I've already put that in the.
I think when you spend that much money for a player,
vapors. It's all in the vapors already.
I've said this so many times. Even if he came in, right, and this is my opinion only, right? Even if the guy came in and scored 15 goals, right, and that's not that lot, then that's not that much. But anyway, 15 to 20 goals, and got 9 to 12 assists. Oh, that's a pretty good season. No, he ain't, because I fucking spent 30 million on this dickhead. If I spend 10 or 5, maybe. But I spend 30.
Yeah.
Unless he comes in and scores 30 goals and 20 assists, then maybe I'll be like, that wasn't so bad.
20 assists.
And
30 and 20.
But that's what I'm
Yo,
saying.
that's a high scoring season,
Yeah,
man.
that's a
That's
fucking
that's insane, man.
Okay. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, assuming no one else scored, that's a 50 goal season.
Listen,
Yeah, yeah.
Throw in everyone
fucking
else's goals.
champion.
100 goal season, here we come.
That's the Ballon d'Or. He's gonna win the fucking Ballon d'Or if he does that, bro.
Okay,
30 and 20.
Listen.
Shit.
I have a question, Lewis.
I spent
I have a
30
question.
million on this dickhead, bro.
Yeah,
30
man.
million. I could have Jimenez, almost replaced.
The pie. You could have got the pie.
Yeah.
Hey, the pie, the mom,
love pie.
I don't mind, bro.
Apple
You know,
pie,
like,
strawberry
what I'm
pie.
saying-
The pie, the mom. The pie, the mine, whatever.
What I'm saying, okay, bottom line, I'll be quite happy. What I'm saying is, even if he has a great season, because of the amount we spent on him, it still look like we send. It's like I don't know, man. It's like buying Ronaldo and then he scored fucking great, but it's Ronaldo, bro. You know, it's like you buy Darwin, whatever.
I heard he's coming too. He's coming to Benfica.
Yeah,
Ronaldo.
sure.
Yeah, Messi.
Yeah.
Ronaldo.
Yeah, now that they messed about
Everybody.
Cavani and Messi, now it's Ronaldo.
Man,
I have a
Look.
question for you, Lewis. I have a question
Oh,
for you.
Yes.
When you say 30 goals, are you talking about 30 goals in just the league or
no,
more
overall,
competition?
overall.
Overall.
I'm talking about that friendly against, Okay, he's only
Yeah,
got
if you
two.
score-
He's only got two. He's only got two. Okay, cool. 28 left. He's got 28 left. All right, that's cool.
Got 28. He's got a
Two.
28
Are
goals.
those two in practice?
Yeah, that's who counts. Shut up.
That's
Come
He
on,
start
bro.
counting the practice goals. He's gonna hit that in no time.
Hey,
Yeah, like
God.
fucking training. If he scores in training, no counts.
Shit. Hey, I'll tell you this.
He's on the Pele goal count.
Look, guys, Benfica play Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. It's Tuesday, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got that coming up, man.
Tuesday. Yeah, we got that coming
Champions
up Tuesday.
League.
Now, for me, you said Seferovic. A lot of people I've heard, I listen to a lot of shows, that he's like our fourth striker. I think Seferovic starting in the
Yeah.
Champions League game,
Yeah.
bro. Like, if people are surprised,
I won't be.
by
I won't be
that,
shocked at that. I'm gonna be pissed, but I won't be shocked.
Yeah, but because you know what, there's one thing like people they say that Seferovic doesn't fit in JJ's system. I think the complete opposite for me with with him, because I don't know. I just see like he needs his bull, his striker. He needs that kind of I can hold it up a little bit. Seferovic can hold up play a little bit. That's one thing I do and I like about him. I think he's starting against PAOK on Tuesday. I don't know where the delusion is, but also though, because JJ's a 4-4-2 guy, he's a two striker kind of guy. Darwin has to start, right? Like you don't spend $25 million on fucking Darwin and not start him in the Champions League, but you can start Tomas Tavares, who's never played a fucking minute in professional, in a professional. Like I don't understand it. I don't get it. He has to start, right?
Maybe Bruno knows better than I
Well,
do.
remember, you
But
gotta understand is Tavares. The reason why Cableta likes him so much is his speed.
Mm.
Oh no, I'm talking about Tomas. I think there's something in Nuno.
The left back.
I think there's something in that kid.
I'm referring
Yeah.
to the left,
Speed.
whoever the left back is.
Yeah,
I know
I
that-
was referring to the right back. Yeah.
Okay, because the left back he likes him a lot because of his speed. Cableta likes fast guys, very fast players on the outside, and he's very quick. And in the Taça de Portugal game against Porto, he did not demonstrate, but he typically is a good crosser of the ball. In that game he was just off. That was just one of those games that you can tally up that no matter what he did, he wasn't going to have a good day.
He's more of a
Thank
low
you.
crosser than a high crosser. If he gets that ball in the air, that shit is catching the air, man. Like, keep it on the ground for me with that kid. I think there's a player in that kid. I've said it here before on the show, man. I think there's a player.
I think as soon as we see
And I
Grimaldo
think there's
healthy,
a player in Fehu, too. I don't
Yeah.
understand it. I don't get the hate that kid gets. I get he have a bad year, I mean, shit, it happens.
Hey,
It
man.
happens,
Had a
but
couple of goals.
he's fucking 21 years old, man. He's
21.
barely old enough to drink out here.
Add a couple of zeros to his bank account, and he'll probably be the Ferro that he was.
Listen,
I need him to be a pharaoh, not a fejo.
I like to point out that I forgot. I completely forgot what I was about to say. So yeah, Mario, take it away, bro. I feel like I'm so completely.
all I was gonna say is, as much as Nuno Tavares shows potential, the moment Grimaldo is healthy on the pitch, he's gonna, I think, own that position.
As he should.
And I think we'll hopefully see Nuno and hopefully Jorge Jesus does rotate, in the TAS Portugal, TAS League if they do that this year, and maybe if need be with Champions League matches and shit like that, if you play him against a Rio Ave versus saving Ronaldo for a Champions League game. But yeah, no, it's
Can Grimaldo play right back?
I don't
No.
know. I don't think
No.
so.
No,
Dude, the guy has no.
He's a career left back. He's a pro in that
I'm just
spot.
reaching, guys. I'm reaching. I'm trying to.
No.
I'm trying to,
If anything,
I'm
he
trying to
tried.
solve a problem,
Yeah.
guys.
If anything, he
Hey.
tried to adapt Nuno on the right because he tried. I think
I'm trying
Nuno
to
played
solve a problem.
one or two games last year there, right? So
He did. He did play on
Yeah.
the right. He did play on the right.
I don't think he's as good on the
Nuno-
right.
Lu-
Play
and,
right
and
back.
Luis said that he liked Nuno on the right better than he liked him on the left.
You know
and I
why?
agreed. I agreed.
And I tell you why, right? So back in my day when I was a professional player, no, basically I always play left mid, right? I always play left mid. My left foot is as bad as Tavares' right foot, right? But I don't know, man. I've always seen myself play on the left. You get inside and you shoot. And if you have to cross, what you do is you play football every single day. So what do? You practice crossing with your left foot. Now, you're not going to get it all the time, but for example, a very good example today. We had Arsenal today playing, right? Or Fulham and Arsenal, right? The Fulham left back doesn't have a left foot. He can't do it. Poor guy. But he still tried it. And he put a couple crosses in that were very nice. Now, this guy will try again and again and again in training. Now, Meru, tomorrow or Monday, you're going to get up and go to work. Poor you, bro. And Mario's going to get up and go to work too. And I'm going to get up and not go anywhere because I'm on holiday, so fuck you. But what I'm saying, this guy is going to get up and go to training. Now, training. Repeat with me. Training. So you train your left foot. In a month's time, those crosses with your left foot are going to be slightly better. And that's why I don't understand. I understand shooting. Shooting is one thing, is different. When you shoot with your right foot, sometimes you can't shoot with your left foot. I can shoot my left foot. I can control a ball with my left foot. You ask me to curl one in top corner, I can't do it with my left foot. No, but I can cross it. I can cross it. And I'm nobody from fucking Reading that plays football every 2 months. So this guy that trains every day can practice this. I've always been very, 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 very hard on players that cannot play with both feet. I'm not saying kick as good. Don't be a Ronaldo. I'm not saying that. But you should be able to at least control a ball and pass a ball with both feet. You play every day. Every day of their life. That's what you do. You don't wash your clothes. You go to training. That's what you do. That's what you get paid the bucks for. So train your left foot. Train your right foot. Train your middle foot. Fuck it. Train. I don't know. Train your middle one. Just do something. Oh, but he's right-footed. Fuck him. Train your left foot, bruv. I'm really serious.
You should add him to our chat.
Say what?
You got to add this guy to your chat. I like this guy. This guy's
Yeah,
good.
I'll add him in. I'll add him
Yeah.
in there. You'll have fun with
I'm
Luis.
saying, guys, 5 days a week. Look, for example, when I was a waiter, I only carried. Now I carry 4 plus 3. Why? Because I train. I train. I train.
How many millions did you make of that?
Fuck!
Oh my god.
Look, you tell me. I'll give you an extra 1,000 a day if you carry 2 plates on your head. I'll find a fucking way. I don't know. I'll grow my ears. I don't know. I'll do something. Like, all I'm saying, these people train every single day. They go to training every day. I'm not, again, like I said again, I'm not expecting to become Ronaldo. Score
Yeah, but
50
you know
goals.
what, bro? Hey, you know what? It's easy. Sometimes you have practice players, bro. You know what I mean? You have players who can do it. We don't know. He probably does do it in practice. He probably rifles them motherfuckers in there. But on game day, man, I'm telling you, it's different. I'm not name dropping, but I know a couple. Like I've known, not me personally, but I've known people who know basketball players, like NBA basketball players, centers who don't make, free throws in a game. But in practice, bro, they hit those free throws like you wouldn't believe. You know what I mean? Like every single one of them. Yeah, there's no pressure there. I mean, I'm talking about centers with like they're shooting 37% from the line. You know what I mean? Like, but in practice, they're shooting 95% from the line in practice. But on game day, man, game day is different. You got your blood going, everything's different,
I
bro.
coach in college, right? Lewis, I coach in college. I can say that I have a handful of practice All-Americans.
Right.
All-American, people that don't understand, All-American is like, it's like the all league or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we have a lot of some practice All-Americans. Not a lot, but some. In practice, they do the most phenomenal things. You put them in a game, and it's like they shit the bed.
I say, fuck them. I say, listen.
It's easier said than done, though.
No. I've always see, this is why I think I'm underrated as fuck. I should be a football player. What I'm saying is, if you can do it in training, have a fucking crack, mate. Have a crack. Have a fucking. That's why I lost every. That's why I lose. That's why I'm not a fucking coach. I'm like, have a crack, son. Go on, son. Go on, have a crack. Like I hate those people. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you something stupid, right? You know the little Rabona crosses, a little like these bad boys here, right? So I play on the left, right? And so many times my coach used to say, "Don't do that in training." Sorry, don't do that in football in an actual match. I know you're doing it in training well, but don't do it in an actual match. I think it was a friendly against the Royal Mail. Think about it, the post office, mate. Right? I'm down the wing. I see the end line, and I go for it, right? And I score a goal because the keeper's shit anyway. Like the guy is sending letters, and I look at him and go, "That could have happened any time." And then he comes up to me and goes, "Okay, maybe do it a few times." And then I did it for the whole season. Yes, I fucked up a couple of them. Don't get me wrong. There are times when I trip myself over the ball, but there were goals from there because I had the confidence.
You sound like you're Quaresma, bro.
No, Quaresma, you should.
Mate, hey, don't do that shit in training. Okay,
No,
all right.
Honestly,
I'll do it in training.
My captain, my
Little
coach,
guy wants to say hi to you, Bruno. 1 second. Say hi, Bruno.
What's
Hi,
up, man?
Bruno.
How are you? Everything good?
Yes.
You wearing some green shirt? Is that a green shirt?
Green and yellow.
Oh, man. How are you doing that? Oh, he's from Pas Freire. You Pas Freire fan?
It's that scarf over there.
No.
The yellow and green one. It's that one.
No, that's not yours.
Yeah, you remember Bruno from the dinner.
Hey, look at that kid. Hey, look at that mop on his head there, huh?
Yeah, he got that shaved on the side. He's got the top.
Finally got his haircut, eh?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
But standing next to his pops, shit.
Okay, all I was saying is, I
Tell him
Doesn't
the
have much to look
condition,
forward to, man.
Mario, tell him the condition. Exfoliate. Tell him to.
He's got the Weiss hair, thankfully.
I can see Rui coming out of the shower and go, "Ooh, my Chevy Rocher." And he's like,
With the whip.
yeah, maybe it's Maybelline. No, but all I was saying
Mario's like, enjoy it, kid.
yeah.
Enjoy it while you got it.
Hey, Mario, did you save his hair?
Love
The one
it.
The bit that was cut. Did you save it in the plastic bag in a safe?
I should have. Well, no. He had a big mop. So that kid, just side story. Before all the confusion that happened in March with all the shutdown, he needed a haircut bad. It got canceled. We pushed it off. Then we're like, hey, we had it booked for March, and everything went. The kid already had a shag back then. He had like the surfer like long hair. He looked like George Shoes basically. The really big mop. He had this huge. He did, and then when he went into the barber, like he's like, they just shaved the sides, and did the little style with it. But yeah, Cynthia saying she's on top of the hair care.
He's halfway there.
Long hair don't care.
He could be Kablator for Halloween.
Could you imagine?
He's got a month.
I could have hold him off for 1 more month. Give him the hey, here's your costume, a Benfica kit, and here's some gum. He's like, what kind of costume? Trust me, it's gonna work at the Portuguese club.
Then you paint his hair white.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Just get on your knee every 92 minutes. Just get on your knees as well.
Oh fuck.
Anyway,
Oh, my
yeah,
God.
that's that, man.
You're trying to say that Mario should dress up as Kelvin?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I'll get in trouble with the
Well,
painting
to be
situation
honest,
nowadays. You can't do that anymore.
half his family's from Angola, so it sort of works out.
I just gotta puff out my lips.
Easy, easy.
Easy, that's it. Shut down. VA90's now been canceled. But yeah,
Yeah, but
man. Anything else you'd want to add, Bruno, before we like punch it out?
Um, hopefully Porto wins this year, man. I mean,
fuck that.
Kind of that's it.
we have to win. We should have won 3 in a row, but we gave you guys one. You can argue that you gave us one, so we're kind of even there. But I think that this year was an important year for us. We had to win the Dobradinha for the first time since
Who's this guy?
2011. So hopefully, this year with the right investments, I unfortunately, this is one thing that drives me crazy about Porto is that, we play next Saturday. We're a week away from the season start, and we still have almost half our roster to move.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you waiting this long? What were you doing for 3 weeks? Like, what took you so long? Another guy that moved that really pissed me off was Vitinha. Vitinha was a guy that I had a lot of expectations for this upcoming season because I really thought that he was going to be a modern João Moutinho, if you will, a guy that's the pendulum, guy that defends, he attacks, he's all over the field, he spreads the ball around. I think Wolves picked up a player on a very, very cheap transfer for 20 million. I mean, this kid's could easily go for 40, 50 million. Very similar to a Ruben Neves deal. They got a steal of a player.
I heard Porto trying to bring back Otamendi. What do you hear about that?
I don't. He's dropping his salary, but it's not going to be enough. And now, what are we going to do there? Pep sits, dude. Pep won us the league, bro.
Yeah, I mean, who's the other center back? Marcano, right? Was it Marcano?
You forgot
Oh,
about
Mbemba. Yeah, that's right. Mbemba. That's right.
Double against you guys.
That's right.
Listen,
That's right.
We like to forget about him.
You forget. You know what I mean? That's how life is. You forget about these things and these people.
Yeah,
forget about, was it Manafá?
Oh no, that guy he can go. You want them? You want?
Mana, fuck you, buddy.
Bro, Manafá. You see a lot of these white hairs, man? These white hairs. Manafá right there.
A motherfucker.
That motherfucker.
Are you at all worried about you guys got a tough start? Braga, I think Braga's an interesting team to face against. I never think there is. Yeah, I'll be all rooting for Gaeta.
Yeah, they beat us all last year. They beat all of us. They beat Porto twice. They beat Porto 3 times. Three times.
They got us. They got sport. I feel like I don't know why. I feel like teams are gonna come with confidence. I don't know if they're gonna be riding high or not, based on how last year ended. And I think they got the core of their team still. Like I know they've changed a few parts, but I still think it's not a drastic change. So I don't know. You think it'll be a tight match, or how's your gut feeling?
Oh, it's always going to be a difficult match. Carvalhal teams. Braga's putting a lot of. They made a heavy investment in Carvalhal. He's a very good coach. He knows our league very well. He knows all the opponents very well. Like I said, he's got an experienced roster. Is it enough to beat us? Hopefully not.
Hopefully, yeah.
I think set pieces are going to be the magic detail of this game is going to be set pieces. If Porto scores a set piece or two, I think the game is going to be done and dusted. We do have a difficult start. I think we have Boa Vista second round or second jornada, whatever you want to call it. And then we have like Marítimo and like match day 3 and somebody else on match day 4. We have a very hard, I think, Sporting at match day 4. It's going to be a hard start to the league, but I think with the players that we've gotten, especially this kid Ivan Nielsen, I think we're going to be okay. I think Ivan Nielsen is going to blow up. He's going to be one of these guys that I think next year he might be a 1-year guy. He might be here and he might be sold for 60, 70 million if he scores the goals that we believe he can score.
There's a guy on TV, man. There's a guy on TV.
Watch out. He's gonna get you.
He's
He's
a
gonna
great.
get you. Watch out.
He's gonna shank you.
Hey, Mello, you got a sniper behind you, bro.
American sniper.
I'm aware of it. I'm aware of the sniper.
Oh,
I got my dog bark.
Is that a cat? Oh, no.
We have.
I hate that damn dog, brother. I hate that damn thing. Sounds
Oh,
terrible.
bad, man.
I'm not a little dog person.
We have a terrible start, that's for sure. You guys go to Famalicão. I think Famalicão's a team that's going to be disappointing because they haven't made any signings.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of key players.
They made money and they haven't done anything with it. Yeah.
Well, the season's
They
not
haven't
finished.
made anything.
The market's not ended yet, though, so we'll never know.
Yeah, but Louis, the one problem that I have with these clubs, and it happens every year, you wait till these clubs, the season's already starting, then you go buy half a roster when the season's already. Dude, it takes like 3, 4, 5 games to gel.
Yeah, true.
Before you know it, you're about 10 points behind.
That's why I don't agree with Cavani. Like, he's gonna come right at the end. Like, I mean, like, Jesus Christ, you know, it's gonna be like, you know, we're gonna be almost done. All of a sudden, Cavani comes in a white horse. You know, like.
Yeah, it's gonna be riding in. And then what are you gonna do with the $25 million man?
I'm done with that shit.
No, it's not gonna. I don't think it's. I think he's done.
I'm
He's
done
done.
with
That's
that.
the-
Yeah,
my
I'm done with that
I
guy.
don't know if you've been to the Luge, but there's this like a little coffee shop outside the Luge, man. They need people there to clean it up at night. That's what Cavani's gonna be for the rest of the, you know. That he's gonna have.
Oh,
He's got to work double time to make up his salary.
Exactly. My man's gonna be working 24/7 around the clock. You know, like he sleeps on a Sunday morning. That's that. Nah, I don't want.
I got it. I don't know. I don't think that Famalicão is going to be very, very dangerous team this year in comparison to what they lost too many key players. Pedro Gonçalves was a big loss. Fabio Martins was a big influential player for him, and he's not even training with Braga. Because remember, he's owned by Braga.
Braga,
He's
yeah.
not even training with the A team. He's just lost on the side there.
That's fucked up, man. Like, that's yeah.
Martinez looks like he's going to be signing for Porto. Porto.
Oh,
Martinez.
fuck.
The
Yeah.
striker.
Fuck him.
A good player, for possibly a future, but I don't rate him as high as maybe Taremi, for example.
I honestly,
and
yeah, I'm pissed off about Taremi. I would have had Taremi. You know, you'd say to me, you know, keep Cavani, keep this Darlos, whatever his name is.
They offered him more. Porto offered him more than Benfica did.
Yeah, no, I know, but I would have liked that.
Up front.
Benfica offered me.
No. Porto offered more. He said.
No,
he said,
Sporting. It was
Porto
Sporting. No,
offered me-
Sporting. Sporting was the one that went after him last second. Offered more,
Yes.
but
Taremi made
it
a
made
comment
sense to go to
that said-
Porto because you get Champions League, and also you get a club that's actually going to pay him the salary. Like you don't know if Sporting's going
Well,
to.
he said, yeah, he's gonna get more money up front. How about that? Maybe that's what it was. With Taremi, he'd get more money up front than Benfica was willing to give him. So he went with Porto.
Well, I'll tell you this: we made a huge investment, not only not monetary, but a huge investment in a very big market, which is Iran, because we're selling a shitload of shirts in
Yeah,
Iran now.
he's the most followed person in Iran. You know that, right? He's got an incredible following. Like you go to his Instagram, he's got so many followers. Most of them are
Bro,
from
there's
Iran.
no way he's more popular than Iron Sheik, bro. Come on.
Who?
He's
I'm
Canadian,
joking.
Canadian, man. He's Canadian.
Melanie
Come on,
flew all the way to the UK.
He's a Toronto idol, the Iron Sheik.
Wait, I can check
Iron
it.
Sheik is Canadian.
Iron
Is that right,
Sheik's.
Mario?
He's
Is
a.
he Canadian?
Yeah, he's in Toronto. He was for ages.
Okay.
He came from Iran.
Think about this,
He migrated from
He
Iran
came
to
from Iran.
Canada.
Right.
And
went
went
to
to
Canada.
WWF,
about
but he's
it.
a Canadian guy.
I want you guys to all just think about.
You guys gotta follow him on Twitter, bro.
Okay,
Follow
wait. Give me a
Iron
second.
Sheik on Twitter.
Okay.
I didn't know he has a Twitter.
Mehdi
It's the
Taremi has 2.4 million followers. 2.4 million followers on Instagram. I'm not talking about Twitter. I'm not talking about Facebook. I'm not talking about Tinder. I'm talking about Instagram.
Fucking Twitter.
2.4 million, right?
No,
Who's
it's
this
the
guy?
Iron Sheik.
Yeah, go on. I'm sure he's probably big, but I'm just saying, a guy that plays for shitty Porto.
Hey,
Look at that pause. I like that
No,
pause.
Iron Sheik's only on Twitter, bro.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He's
He
only
doesn't
on
go on.
Twitter.
He doesn't go on Instagram because he's scared of Taremi. You know what I mean? He's like, fuck.
He's a
I
fucking
can't beat this guy.
75-year-old man.
Yeah.
Is he?
Oh, you don't know who you really don't know the Iron Sheik. He could like
I
suplex the
know
fuck out of
Iron
you. I was
Sheik
gonna
is.
say,
I
oh my
love
god.
it. Look
You
at
want
Mel.
to you want to hear one of his the tweets he has
Go
pinned?
on.
Look, check
Go
this.
on. Go
Take a
on.
minute of your day to be nice to someone, you dumb son of a bitch.
See, I like it.
70-year-old Iron Sheik still got it.
Still got it, bro. Still got it.
No, I gotta say with Taremi. Taremi was a guy we were tracking all last year. I think he's an exciting guy to see. I'm curious if he can kind of translate that. I think in terms of a hype standpoint, you hear the Champions League anthem and Taremi's there, and people in Iran are gonna go ballistic. Because before it was Rio Ave, right? They're gonna go.
It's not like they're playing in Iran, though.
No one
Are
plays in
they?
Iran.
Yeah, but
No one does.
you're gonna sell a lot of jerseys. And remember, the only reason why he came to Portugal is because Queiroz recommended him to go to the Portuguese league to evolve his soccer. Was because of Queiroz. Queiroz really wanted him to go somewhere in Portugal, I think, and he ended up going to Rio Ave, which was a good club for him to start off. He's had a successful career. Let's say that we could say it very comfortably that he's had a very successful
We
career.
pretty much discovered him, us three,
Yeah.
Taremi. We saw him pretty much.
Yeah, Bruno. Yeah, Bruno. Come on, us, bro.
Before everyone. Yeah, we saw.
We came up with over a
Taremi.
year ago the Taremi meter before he started scoring a lot of goals. He started scoring some additional goals. And we're like, oh, this is a funny Taremi meter. I don't know why we did it. And then it just kept
We're
going,
making
man. It
fun
just
of
kept
Bruno.
going, man. It kept
We were
going.
making fun of Bruno Fernandes. We were making fun of Bruno Fernandes, and we're like, hold on, let's check the goal, like, you know what I mean? And then Luis was like, look at he checked the goal scorers, the leading goal scorers, and Mehdi Taremi was like,
This
second
early.
at that time.
Yeah, this is like
Early,
3 or
yeah.
4 games in, right? We're
And
like,
he's like, it's this guy Mehdi Taremi, and then that was it, man. Like we were just.
What I'm saying is the real Iron Sheik
Now we
has
gotta
got
let him go.
71K followers on Instagram. That's what I'm saying.
All right,
Well,
that's fair.
I mean,
That's fair.
I mean, it's the whole country. I mean, it's the whole country.
Well,
there's another team that I think that we should watch out for this
Benfica.
year.
I
I think
agree.
it's going
I
to create
agree.
a lot of problems. It's going to be Malik.
Marítimo?
Who?
Yeah.
Marítimo?
Marítimo, yeah. I can
Yeah.
see that.
why?
They're why?
Yeah. I just don't see.
Strategic. They make strategic signings, very strategic signings of what they needed.
Okay.
It wasn't names. It wasn't anything like that, Lewis. It was guys that are very good players for their position,
Okay.
in their budget. In their budget,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
it was very good. Marítimo will be a team that might rise up because remember they got rid of their coach. I think Daniel Ramos is their new coach.
Ramos,
if I'm
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it
yeah.
him? Or he went to Santa Clara?
No, I'm pretty sure. No, not Santa Clara. Did he? Well, I can check quickly. Daniel Ramos.
What time is it? Oh, 20 minutes.
All right,
20 minutes, guys.
20 minutes.
For those of
Daniel
us still,
Ramos. Oh yeah, actually.
Oh,
he
you got
went
the
to-
Lakers
he went to Santa
playing.
Clara. Okay, so Maritim.
I thought the tournament was over. I thought that ended. I thought there's no more games.
nah, get out. Get out. We're still in it, baby. In it to win it. Let's
Nah,
go.
I thought that
Hey,
they canceled it. They canceled
real
it.
quick, before we, because I see this Cowboys flag. I see this Cowboys flag hanging up over here. Mind you, you're from New Jersey, right? East Coast.
Yeah.
How the heck is it the blue? I mean, Giants are blue. Like what?
No.
What's up?
I'll explain to you. So I was
Oh.
either going to be one of 3 teams. Go ahead, Lewis. I'm just curious because I don't remember his name.
Lito Vidigal was the coach, the manager.
Here we go. All right, there you go. So strategic.
Yeah.
I remember. All right. Going back. I was either going to be a Cowboys fan because of a cousin, a Redskins fan, or I can't say that no more. A Washington
The football team. It's a football team. Yeah.
Stupid ass
fan,
name.
or a Patriots fan because I have a lot of family in New England. And I was like, I was a little kid, silver and blue. Who didn't want to? I mean, I didn't want to be a Washington fan. You know what I'm saying by Washington fan. I wanted to be. So I was like, hey, you know what? I want to be a Cowboys fan. So I wanted to be a Cowboy, and that was it. And now it's like I'm a big fan of Cowboys. I
Fun
mean,
times, man.
I have high expectations. So I know
Of
you're a
course,
Raiders fan. What
for
happens
sure.
with them?
Yeah. Yeah. Big Raiders fan opening up that Vegas stadium, man. It's gonna be fun. I mean, I wish that it was packed, man. Like this whole thing has got sports. I think football, American football, is gonna be the most affected by this whole thing. I mean, the in Missouri they had like 25% capacity, but that's because the Midwest is.
It's the Midwest.
That's another story. Yeah, you know. Yeah,
Midwest
they're
is
the
the
Midwest.
Midwest.
Yeah, god
Just-
damn.
You're speaking gibberish to me, bro.
The Midwest, they're idiots.
the Midlands, the Midlands.
Number two biscuit. Oh no.
Lewis, the only time that you go to the Midwest is if you're in craving heavily barbecue. Other than that, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And then I'd probably go to Texas and probably be close,
To
easier for me.
Texas?
Yeah, I'd rather go to Texas.
Oh, Alabama.
My
No, no,
Oh, that's a big difference, man. Texas and Alabama, that's a huge difference, man.
We're not going there.
That one goes near
We're not going
Alabama.
to Alabama.
Alabama's got such reputation. Every time I say
No. We're not going to Bama.
Stay away from
We're
that.
staying. We're
You don't
good.
go to Alabama.
Luis, you'll be segregated if you go to Alabama. That's how Alabama is.
They would like you at first, but then when you start talking, and now it's a problem. Now, yeah.
They'll be like,
Yeah, they think you're gonna come invade them and shit.
They'll
Like,
be
are
like,
you guys back? You guys are back.
they'll be like,
You guys are back.
yo, he talking good funny to us.
We got a flag.
You're not, fucking the redcoat. The redcoats are back, darling.
Shoot him, shoot him.
They're gonna look at Lewis. They're like, "Did we eliminate you guys like 200 years ago? What happened?"
England
Did
exists.
we put a macaroni in our hat?
I'm neutral.
Yeah.
Oh man, again,
That's
thank
the
you.
same shit.
So-
today.
Yes, thank you so much, man. Go for it. That's it, man. All
I said,
right,
watch Maritimo.
got-
Watch Maritimo. You're gonna cause problems.
Nah, I'm gonna watch Braga kick your ass. Gaitan with 2 goals and an assist. Let's go. Come on, man.
and Horta still got that
Gaitan
Benfica in him.
Gaitan scoring 30-20 this year, Luis. 30-20 from Gaitan.
Dude, I got
Numbers
10
are-
pounds of Braga.
Hey, Bruno, before we get out of here, let them know where they can find you at again. You got your 2 shows. I'm a big fan of the Tugers. For sure, I'm a big fan of the Tugers. That's where I started with you, for sure. But let them know where they can find you, where they can listen to you, and
Don't give
if
a
you want
crap.
to drop any other social medias.
YouTube for Football No Filter. You can find us on YouTube. For Three Tugas now, you can find us on YouTube. We were on other platforms, but right now, with the way things are here in the U.S., it's so much harder to get things on specific platforms, and then forget it. So let's just say YouTube us. Football No
YouTube.
Filter, Three Tugas, the number 3, and then Tugas, right? All together. Just all one word. Just make sure that you put us there. We should be starting our schedule very soon. So we got the season coming up. I mean, this weekend should have been the Super Tasca, but Porto wanted to be nice guys for unexplainably why we wanted to be nice people.
Yeah,
And
does it kind of play
We
to your
need it.
favorite?
We need it.
Yeah,
We
but
need it, though.
if
We
you
need
guys
it.
did the Super Tassa
I mean-
last weekend, this past weekend, if we did it this weekend or this past week, well, all these signs were happening. That wouldn't have been a good scenario either, right?
You're right, but I mean, at the same time, like I never agreed with like when you got your rival that's kind of like they're kind of like hobbling in the air, and they're ready to get to knocked out. This would have been a great opportunity because if Benfica, with all their investment that they made, if they don't make it into the Champions League,
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of problems.
Oh
in
yeah,
Benfica land.
there are already a lot of problems with Lucha Vieta. That's a whole other like 2 hours of a show. But there is like a mutiny going on and a civil war almost at the club with the election coming up. I think Lucha Vieta is on panic mode right now, and it's like a do or die. Like he's throwing everything the kitchen. That's why Darwin got signed for what he got signed for. It's like, okay, fine. You fucking think this guy will score goals against the Champions League? Fine. How much do you want? Like he's just in pure. He's like, I couldn't get Cavani. Okay, what's another guy from that country that can be a striker? You know what I mean? And that's the situation we're in right now. Hopefully, with the next show, we're going to be doing the Champions League game, and I hope it's good news because it is a one-game knockout, and I'm a firm believer that one-game knockouts. I love the World Cup, love the Euros. So one of the biggest things I love about them is that the team that's supposed to win doesn't always win. On paper, Benfica should win. Historically, Benfica does win against this side. Any day of the week, we can easily lose to these guys also, right? It's just that that's the way the cookie crumbles in a one-game knockout. So and it's we're going to Greece, we're going to their backyard, and the Greeks are known to make some noise. I know it's an empty stadium, but they won't be quiet outside the hotel room and everything else leading up to that match, because in their mind they know that it's their one shot in, right? So it's gonna be tight, man. It's gonna be tight, and if for some reason we don't deliver and we flop early on, people will snap because there is a contingent of the fan base that was very ticked off seeing George Jesus come back. So a slip up and that contingent gets really loud, and especially with a president that's potentially on the way out the door, that will just, yeah. So that's why I hope it goes well and we win everything, and it's all just jokes down the road.
Mhm.
I think that you guys will beat Pawok, but it would be. I don't know how you guys would feel if Zivkovic scores the game winner and eliminates you guys.
I'll come to New Jersey. And we'll
I think
I
to do that.
bro. Like, if that happens, man, like, mate.
What?
He won't.
Zivkovic
He won't.
is
I'm not worried about
a good
Zivkovic.
player, but
You won't even
I'm not either. I think he's one of those guys. There's a cliche kind of thing about Serbians that the Serbians are not welcome in Italy. If you guys didn't know, their work ethic is poor. Work ethic is very poor, and I mean Zivkovic is probably an example of that. Just poor work ethic, a lot of talent, but if you're not gonna deliver, no matter how much training Lewis wants to put them through, if they just are not motivated to work, they're not. That's it. It's over.
Well, King
But
Phaedra
I
was
think
different. King Phaedra was different though. King Phaedra was a
he
different
was
breed, man. He was a different breed.
different player.
My team.
He's not. He's not there no more. He's there, but he's not there. I mean,
Right.
He's
what's
not
the
there.
story? Is he
I don't know.
No, he's done. He's done. I think they're riding out his last few months, but I don't think they can find a home for him. But he ain't gonna play. I think he's done.
It sounds like you're speaking about a dog. Can't find a dog. Can't find a home
We
for
gotta
him.
take him out back to the Shishal. Just put him down.
I do want to take a trip to London, to England, real quick though, and just I watched the Leeds game, man, and I thought it was pretty cool today. Yeah, I watched it. I call it the Leeds game because I hate fucking Liverpool, but I thought it was pretty cool, man. I mean, it's been 16 years since they've been in the Premier League.
16.
16.
Very good game, man. I really
Tough,
enjoyed
man.
it.
It's tough. It's tough to get back, man. It was a really good game.
Lewis, who do you support in England?
Benfica.
All
See,
right,
my
so
love for Benfica is so big, I don't have space for any other. I know. No, honestly, it's tough. Like, I've never really got into the like. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying this because of whatever. It's like Benfica's always been that main focus. I always like to follow somebody like the Portuguese. For example, Wolverhampton now, I'm really attached to them because they've got all the Portuguese. And I don't care if you play for Porto before, whatever. If you're Portuguese and you leave Porto, I'll support you. So Wolverhampton is a biggie. Reading a little bit because that's where I live and I used to work for the club, and I guess they're shit, so I can't follow them. But fuck it. But yeah, usually what I do is at the start of the season, I'll pick a team that I follow that season. This season, that'll definitely be Wolverhampton. Yeah,
okay.
Either them or Fulham.
Or Fulham. Is that because Fulham is close by to you or no?
No, because there's this girl from Fulham, man. She's 10-10. Like,
There we go. There you go.
You don't have to say anymore. And Mello, what team is your team from England? Or you don't have one?
I mean, yeah, I do because in the States, we watch a lot of United games in the States. So as a kid, it was United for me, and then I got to, like you said, if you're Portuguese and you leave Sporting, I'll root for you too. So watching Ronaldo in a United uniform was some special stuff, man. That was some special stuff. Even now, I think back to those days. Like he's always a great, but for me, it's that moment where he kind of like eclipsed into this fucking amazing player. Made that trip to Real. It was so fun. Yeah. For me, that's what it was. And ESPN, bro, that's what they play. They play Premier League, and you got a lot of Manchester games out here.
If we go by that, the only I got two. I got a Reading kit that was given to me because he scored a hat trick, and I was like, absolutely respect to the guy. And also, I've got a Ronaldo kit, and it's the one that has the white line top, then it sort of stops in the middle, has the name, and then it carries on down. And I got that top 2 weeks before I went to watch Ronaldo live at the Madejski Stadium, which is the Reading Stadium, and he scored. And I was with the Manchester United kit on the United end, and Reading scored, and I went, hey! Everyone looked at me and went, right, easy. Right, look. So I explained my situation, and they were really cool. They were really cool about it. And when Ronaldo scored, I remember I was a 15, 16-year-old kid, and I'm like, Ronaldo, yes, I'm Portuguese too. And I'm like, yeah, sure. He's going to turn around to me and go, yeah, great. They didn't do anything. See, that's the only kit I have. It's a United kit or a Reading kit, and the Reading kit was given to me. So if you go by that, then I United.
Mary, do you have an EPL kit or no?
No, man, I follow stories. I'm kind of almost at what Luigi was saying in a sense. Like the Wolves story right now is neat. The Leicester story was neat. There's a point early on when United did have Ronaldo. It was neat to kind of watch them. Chelsea at some point. Never Arsenal. Just never. Nothing's ever come out of that. Tottenham has been a year where I liked them, but I never had a club in the EPL. Mainly Benfica, obviously on that side. The one club that I've actually become connected to, I'm wearing it today, is Canada started a Premier League last year. So this is the Forge. And so that you wouldn't know them because it's a Canadian league and they just started last year, right? But it's just more it's local.
I do watch it.
You've seen it, yeah. It's a cool. I gotta say, man, I like the league. It's a brand new league. It's neat. But the thing is, for country, I know we're kind of now talking about Canada for a second. Luigi lost all interest. But it's a country that didn't have anything really. Like they had a hodgepodge of patchwork, very regional things, and everything piggybacked off the U.S. system. And if for anyone that's the Americans will know this. Any Europeans might not understand this, but Canada has a very weak complex where they feel they can't do anything on their own unless it's in the American system. Like, we don't have a basketball league. We got the Raptors. If we're ever to have another basketball team, it has to be in the NBA. If someone came out and said, oh, let's start a basketball league because everyone's loving the Raptors, then no one's going to watch basketball. It's like, well, everyone's watching the Raptors. You don't think someone's going to... No, we can't. We don't have enough population for that. Like, when they talk about a soccer league, how can you start a soccer league? We don't have population. It's like... We're like 3 times bigger than Portugal, and you're saying we can't have a domestic league. They just have a very weak mindset of like you can't. We're a hockey mad country. They won't start a Canadian hockey league. We play in the American NHL. Like, I know it's a joint league, like the NHL's joint league and all these other things, but at the same time, it's the first, I think, attempt to really do
I feel hockey's Canadian, Mario.
Yeah.
Like,
but how many
teams?
But yeah, you say it's Canadian. NHL. A quarter of the teams are Canadian, the rest all American. Not even a quarter.
True. But according to our
you have a fucking vast wilderness of half of Canada. You can't put
I'm saying if you go
like
to
they will freeze to death. They will be cold.
Look at Russia. Russia's got a soccer league. No, you can play it. You look at countries that are smaller population than Canada. We're a G7 country. We're a rich ass country. We're a G7 country. Lots of wealth, good economy. There's money. And we act like we can't, like they look at Greece and go, man, yeah, we can't do what the Greeks do with a soccer league. That's impossible. It's like, they got no population and they're bankrupt. You're saying we can't have and so it's finally starting to grow. It's about time. There's some demand. The neat thing about it is the CONCACAF is there's actual seeding into CONCACAF from the league. There's matches between the MLS sides, the Canadian ones, right? So it's a neat kind of development. I hope it grows. I'm praying for it. But they have a complex here in Canada. You have especially the Toronto bubble. None of them watch the Canadian Premier League because they just anything that's Canadian. Toronto people will be the first to go. Oh, they make fun of Americans and we love Canada. And the first ones you go, okay, name sports. They only name anything American. They're like basically a bunch of wannabe Americans in Toronto. And they
started all the cool sports, bro.
Canada invented basketball. No, Canada.
Basketball.
No. Canada invented basketball.
This guy.
He was Canadian. It got started in Kansas. It got invented in Kansas.
The guy invested. He cut a hole in a basket and he figured that shit out. Canadian guy.
It is what it is. Football, baseball.
Football. Football. Football, same thing. The longest. What's the biggest? Not biggest. What is the oldest football league? Canadian Football League.
Oh.
Way older than anything the U.S. has.
What's this?
Yeah, CFL, the egg ball. The egg ball.
Canadian Football League. Hey, come on, man. Like let's not forget we invented
the Calgary Flame, right? Is that them? Calgary
Well,
Flames.
George
They're
West.
hockey. They're
No, George
hockey.
West.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, hockey.
See.
Yeah, the
See,
Stampede.
Mario,
The
I thought-
Stampede. The Stampede are the CFL team. That's the only thing we do.
CFL, there you go.
We have a CFL, which is funny. They play under a different set of rules. It's not like the NFL. It's actually there's different rules. A different it's its own animal. And it's funny that one.
Don't
But
change
even
a good
again,
thing.
but outside of Toronto, no, like in Toronto, they don't look at the CFL. It doesn't exist. Like the Argos, the most populated city, they don't support the Argos. But when the Buffalo Bills came in for a couple exhibition games, or they did a couple games in Toronto, they went bananas in Toronto. And like, you got a local team here, and they're like, we have a football team in town. It's like, yeah, you idiots. But that's the mentality in Canada. They think they can't play sports unless it's in the American system, and it's a very weak mentality.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm hoping this Canadian Premier League breaks. I'm excited. That's why I'm backing it. I'm supporting it as much as I can. I'm going to games. Well, now you can't today, but I'm throwing things behind it. It's fun.
Are you sorry about that, Mario? Are you sorry about that?
Oh, always, man. It's Canadian. You have
Of course
to.
you are. You're Canadian,
Yeah,
isn't
exactly. You have to. You have to.
It's alright, man.
yeah,
You
it's
know,
alright.
Here's what you do. You put maple syrup on it, everything will be better.
I know a Canadian tradition: maple syrup on ice.
Yeah, put-
With a
yeah, put
popsicle. You gotta
gravy.
you got a
Gravy on the
popsicle.
fries.
You got a
Put them
popsicle with
gravy.
Nothing
ice.
wrong with some gravy on the fries, man.
Syrup?
What are you trying to say?
Poutine.
Poutine, yeah.
That's how you make everything good. Just put gravy
Poutine.
on fries.
Poutine's good, man. Poutine's fantastic.
Right.
All right, let's
The
go.
sun's gonna come out
Okay,
soon.
I got a sick outro for everyone. Thank you to obviously Bruno. Big thank you to Bruno. Big thank you to Patrick.
Thank you guys for having me.
Big thank you, Dave. Really cool series. I hope we get to do it again, man. Sooner than later. It's been far too long since we had you on.
Yeah.
Well, the next time that we play is December 23rd, man.
We'll bring that game. We'll bring you on for that game.
Look at what I got a nice little Christmas there, huh?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
start that prod with Ding Dong Marilyn on high.
December 23rd is Super Taza. That's the Super Taza.
See what that's.
It's played in because the actual league game, the first league game between the two clubs is going to be sometime in January.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Till end
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Of so we're not going to be squaring off until very late in the year, and we'll see where we are. I mean, unless it's Taça de Portugal or Taça da Liga, if we play then, but Taça da Liga is only 8 teams this year.
Yeah,
Oh,
very
wow.
weird setup. Yeah, very weird setup this year.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
No,
I
I heard.
didn't know
I heard. No,
that.
I heard about that. It's a weird. They're not doing the playoffs for nothing. Just kind of took the top 8 and away they go.
Top four of the Portuguese, the first division, top 4 of the second division, and then they play elimination until Final Four, and then Final Four is in Leiria.
Yeah,
Lady, yeah. They got great late time over there, man.
they do. That's what they're known for, eh? The Leitão. It's
Little piglet, you know.
Leiria is not for Leitão. Leitão is
No,
Bairrada.
they're not
Oh,
versus
Bajada,
them, but
Bajada,
they have
yes, Bajada.
Sorry, yeah, Bajada.
But Lady
sorry,
is close to
sorry.
Bajada. No, it's
Oh, well.
No, because that's where my
Hour
parents
away.
are originally from. They're originally from there. Sergio Conceição is actually
Bajada?
from a nearby town, and they're not known. Leiria is still about an hour away.
hour away. See, that's close by. That's close by. In Canada, an hour is like next door. That to me is close by.
Well, an hour from your house is Justin Bieber's house.
No, he's actually like down the block. He's a couple blocks away. No,
Okay.
legit.
Of course it is.
It's a few blocks away is where he's at. It's hilarious. Of all the
No,
fucking
I
people that
wonder
moved
why
in.
Rui is walking up that to the haircut.
Yeah. All the kids are. He's quiet though in town. He's quiet in town. You don't hear him much.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys.
Who's that?
Right.
Bieber. He bought a house like a few blocks down.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, like I'm in a
Yeah.
simple subdivision. A few blocks down is a country road, and you just go down that road, follow it up, and there's like this little lake, and he's in there. He bought it 2 years ago or something like
No
that.
way.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It caused a bunch of fuss because it's obviously Bieber, right? He was born. His family's next door from Stratford. It's like 30 minutes up, but we're on a major line. I guess you could say the highway wise. So we're Stratford. You go from Cambridge, anyways, back roads to get there. So it's close to the highway, airport kind of thing. So it makes sense for him to fly in, do his thing, and all that fun shit. Melo's so into Bieber. You could tell how excited he is right now.
He parties with him. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Exactly. All right, everyone.
He parties with him and Mia Khalifa.
I would party with him. I didn't say I wouldn't party with him. I'd fuck around and party with him. That's a great time. I ain't got to pay for any of the things we about to do. That's good. So
What about
I'll party with
What
him.
about me?
I'm just not gonna listen
Mia
to his
Khalifa.
record. Oh, Wiz? Oh shit! I'll kick it with him for sure. That's on my list.
No.
He's on my bucket list.
He's saying no.
Mia,
Mia-
not Wiz, Mia.
Her too. Yeah, it's all good.
Hey,
She can come.
She could
Yeah,
come.
she can come.
what if Trump shows up?
Who?
Trump.
Okay, I'm gonna end this show because this will be another hour of like.
I don't know. It can go. It can go a couple ways.
Yeah, there's a wildfire. Yeah.
I never
Depends
saw
on-
Melo stump.
I wouldn't even know. I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Lewis,
Never
you did it.
enormous-
You
enormous
You got me. Yeah, you got me there, bro. I'm gonna think about that and I'll say it on the next show. What I think would
All right,
happen.
let's go. It's Saturday, right? No, it's Saturday today.
Say Saturday. No,
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Champions League.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me get this outro going. Peace.
Sorry for the short show today.
Yeah, no kidding. Eh?